Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Sagevivor Season 5 Golden Age All-Stars. In this episode, we spun the wheel at the beginning of the episode, as always, and we landed on Season 3 this time. So in Merge, Season 3 means a demerge. We had 9 people. We ended up having to split into 2 tribes of 4 and 1 person on Exile. Danny ended up being on Exile, and then we had a little challenge between the two different tribes. We've got more info coming from the confessional, so I'll just let them explain it. Friendly reminder, if you haven't already, smash the like button for me to show your support for the series and consider subscribing. It not only helps myself, but it does help the cast of Sagevivor. The better that Sagevivor does overall, the more that I can turn around and reinvest into the series, so I really do appreciate that. Anyways, let's get into the tea.
Hello. How are we doing, guys? I just got out of the shower. It's fucking boring on Exile. There's nothing to do. I've spent about 30 minutes searching through the hotel channels. There's nothing. This is boring. And I'm ready to be over. It'll be over in like 30 minutes. That's when the tribal is happening, and yeah, I'm just going to talk about what I think is going to happen. Such a bad org play. I was paying attention. The tribal has Wrath, Mason, James, and Gumby on it. So one of those 4 will be out. And I personally have 2 picks for who I would like to see gone. I would be pretty surprised if Wrath or Gumby turn on each other. Wait, they're not close. My head is not in the game. Forgive me. I don't know what's gonna happen, to be honest. I could see any of them going for different reasons, and I can't wait to find out what the reasoning is. But preferably, I prefer James or Mason to go. If James does survive, we really need to have a talk, me and him, because according to Jordy, he felt overshadowed by me, which is why he made the move. I don't know if Jordy's just saying that, or if he really feels that way, in which case I really need to talk to James a lot. But yeah, maybe he'll just give it a go, so he'll be burnt by me and guaranteed not vote me for the jury. Yeah, I think it'll be James. It'll probably be James. I hope it'll be Mason. Mostly just because I want to outlast that bitch after Season 3. I am petty, and I would love to outlast Mason. So, because I don't think I'm long for this game. I'm probably the next, or one of the next few boots, unless I go on an immunity run, so. Yeah, I just really hope Mason goes so I can outlast him, to be honest. Yeah, so it's boring on Exile. Also, I got a little Skittle Rich Billy Loomis cut going right now. This is for my Scream cosplay I'm doing, trust. It's in my eyes, but not a bad thing. I don't mind it when things get in my eyes. Pause. My hair is growing so long. I normally push it back slightly, but when I first get out of the shower, I just let it sit in my eyes and cover my eyes. Anyways, just want to kind of talk, because there's fuck all else to do here on Exile, about my plan for the rest of the game and how I can survive. Because to be honest, I don't have one. I spent the last 48 hours on Exile vibing, because, you know, I was kind of voted out, and I just wanted to take some time away because I got voted out of my other org, so I've just been chilling, not thinking about the game, because I needed the break. Now that it's about to, you know, start back up again, I need to be thinking about what my plan is. So, in the final 8, the only solid number I have is Wrath. And even he might turn on me. Wrath is someone that I think I could rebuild things with. Gumby too, probably, because he did try to save me at the end, but I was kind of a bitch towards him, but he seemed to understand. And I think he's the personality to where he won't get too upset. So there's those two. I don't know if Mason would work with me again, since he kind of blew up the alliance when I told him that there was a leak. And I can never tell with Mason, but yeah. Rossi, I think I still could potentially work with, since she seemed to have no idea where I was going. And seemed genuinely apologetic. And I really like Rossi, so I hope that can be something, but if it can't, it can't. Then the rest, those are the people in my, I can work with these people. People not in that tier, me and Jordy. Outside of the game, love Jordy, he's a great person. Inside the game, fuck him. Get out. Leave. I can't stand him in the game. He's he pisses me off. He's hateful in the way he talks sometimes. In season 3, that was endearing. In season 5, it's just annoying. He went from endearing to annoying, and I'm done with it. And obviously he doesn't like me either, since I just tried to blindside him, so yeah. Jordy's definitely at the bottom of that tier. Then we got Vintage. Who's fucking Vintage? He apologized to me after voting me in the Vintage way and kind of explained why. And it made sense. I get it. If I had a choice to work with Solid Numbers or Wrath, Gumby, Mason, me, I would choose the Solid Numbers. So I don't really blame him. It's not going to impact me. But in his apology, I got the vibe that it was more of he was apologizing because he had to, more than he was apologizing because he wanted to work with me. So if he wanted to work with me, that would be one thing, but I don't get the vibe that he does. So that's probably a burnt bridge that will not be rebuilt. Then there's James. Yeah, I feel bad because I love James. He's a great person. And he's a villain, and I wanted to get the villains far, but it just has not worked. Obviously, the whole stuff happened in the pre-merge, and I thought we were doing better, but according to Jordy, James felt like I viewed him as just an extra vote, which I did not. I love James, and I viewed him as a solid ally, not as an extra vote. But, I mean, if that's how he felt, I can't really help it. And I don't really think there's any rebuilding it after me voting him twice, and him voting me out. Yeah, that's probably not rebuilding. Which is okay, I'll make it work. Am I forgetting anyone? My head is so fucking out of the game. Air Tribes, Rossi, Vintage, Jordy, Johnny. Yeah, no. It's Johnny. I've tried to work with him multiple times, and every time it's ended in disaster. I give up on ever doing anything with Johnny. He's thrown me under the bus. He's made things up about me. He's lied to me. He's fucked me over. And I forgive, but I don't forget. And it gets to a point where I can't even forgive anymore. And we're at that breaking point with Johnny. So, yeah. Johnny is donezo. Johnny is, not someone I envision working with again in this game, so. Yeah, I'm kind of fucked. Like, really kind of fucked. And I don't think there's any saving that. But, you never know. I can turn on the Riz. That I don't have. I don't fucking know why I say average, because I really don't. But yeah, I'll see what I can do. See if I can manipulate anyone into helping me make it a bit farther. See if I can nourish the relationship with Rossi, Wrath, Gumby. Even though they don't really seem to like each other, those three. We'll see. Probably be joining the jury pretty soon, but that doesn't mean I'm giving up. Danny Fairplay is still alive. If he has anything to say about it, I'll be in the final 3 or 2 once more. Peace.
Okay, I'm gonna try not to yap because I just did a confessional and I realized it was like over 10 minutes. And I was like, shit, I'm doing it again, I'm yapping. Okay, so basically the other tribe lost, and that tribe consists of Mason, Wrath, James, Gumby. And I kind of think I can benefit from any of those 4 going home. My preference is Gumby, just because with Danny going to exile and probably getting an advantage, along with his nullifier he already has, and an extra vote I believe that he holds, I just think I need to care more about actually making it to FTC, and Gumby, in that sense, Gumby going home is the best possible thing for me. Because he's against me, and he connects Rosie and Danny, he's someone that Wrath likes. And yeah. I think Gumby going home is the best thing for my chances of making it to FTC. But, on the other hand, I think it's possible that James, Gumby, and Mason all link up with James's extra vote to overpower Wrath and his 2 idol shards, 2-1. Part of me is into that, part of me is not, because Wrath obviously offers me a lot of protection and safety in this game, and influence, because of his 2 idol shards, and also the connections he has with other people, his threat level. Like, he knows that I'm one of the only people he believes I'm one of the only people that would take him to FTC, and he just wants to take me to FTC, and that kind of protection in the game is something that's in my immediate interest. But I also believe that if Wrath was sent home and I had no involvement, he becomes a huge supporter for me on the jury. And with Wrath being a huge supporter with me on the jury, I believe I get Dylan's vote to win also. And that could be enough to get Elk's vote, along with Cam's vote that I probably have, and that's like 4 jurors already, potentially like leaning my way. Which is in my immediate interest, because I'm obviously thinking about winning this game. And also, I believe, I'm not sure. I know Wrath wants to sit next to me in FTC, but I don't know if I want to sit next to Wrath, because he has just dominated this entire season, but he is unliked by a majority of the jury, I think, so far at least. Because he's rubbed a lot of people the wrong way after sending them out, or after doing whatever, fighting with Mia, his thing with he's the reason Dylan got sent home, he put Cam on the block, didn't talk to Cam, I just believe there's a good chance that Wrath loses FTC no matter who he's up against, unless he's up against James and Rosie or something like that. If he's up against anyone slightly competitive, I think Wrath could probably lose. I think Wrath could lose to me, Danny, and Mason. And so I'm considering taking Wrath to the end, because he's someone that I don't know if I could beat. If I could beat Wrath, I want to take him to the end, because I don't know, it's just cool, because he's helped me out so much that I would love to take him, but I also don't know, because he's been so dominant. He genuinely has, I think he's probably player of the season. He's just dominated this game. It has such a chokehold on the advantages and the strategy involved. So I don't know. We'll have to see. Well, that's a decision I'll have to make later. But there's also, I kind of want this decision made for me. I kind of want Wrath blindsided without me having any involvement, because I believe if I did it myself, Wrath does not vote me to win. He, hates me and hates my guts and starts talking about how he's not going to vote me to win in Pondy. So I think the best way to get to have Wrath's vote on the jury and like not have to deal with him in FTC is for someone else to do it for me. And that's like, and this round is a perfect round for that to happen. So part of me kind of hopes James does take out Wrath. And I don't know, because that would also bolster, that's a tick on James's resume. You know? But I mean, it is something I could partly, you know, because James told me about his extra vote. And I did not tell Wrath or Vintage about that extra vote. And that is something I could, like, you know, kind of use in FTC if I happen to go against James and James makes that move, is that I could have stopped it. You know, I could have, like, if Wrath, you know, Wrath knows about the extra, he could just campaign to Gumby to take James out, or like take Mason out, or whatever, you know. It's what, like, I don't know, it's a little something I have, but who knows. But yeah, I also believe, so I think there's pros and cons to anyone going home, because James is also a goat, and I think I need goats out of the game in order to also increase my ability to make it to the end. If James goes home, Vintage probably like looks at me as a good opponent. Johnny looks at me as a good opponent, because I've been, like I said earlier, I think I was like telling Johnny like, oh my god, yeah, I'm not, like, so many jurors are never gonna vote me to win. So like I think like James going home is a good way of increasing my odds of making FTC, because then it becomes more about a threat purge, which puts Mason and Wrath and and Danny in the line of fire, not me. Also Gumby or Mason going home, they're both just strategic obstacles to me making FTC. So yeah, I think no matter who goes home over there, I can work it, but whoever it will probably drastically alter the path that I need to take to FTC, depending on who lives and who survives, or who dies and who survives.
Hey y'all, so I think this vote's gonna go 2 on Gumby, 2 on Jordy. It's entirely possible that we get a, you know, Danny and Gumby voting me instead in case of an idol, or Danny and Gumby and Jordy just agreeing that, like, I'm probably going to be at final tribal at this point, probably going to lose, but voting me out keeps them all safe and frees up a spot at final tribal. It's possible, I've seen votes happen like that before. They're all being a little quiet, except for Jordy. The rest of them are being a little quiet, so I don't know, we'll see. Probably not going to stay up for it because I'm tired and I want to go to bed.
And it's why people feel like, I feel so frustrated because I have to work with people that I don't like. Like, I like Wrath. He's a nice guy, but he fucked over my girlfriend, and I still feel a sort of way about this. Like, grrr. Then there's people that I don't want to work with. I wanted to work with Mia. She was fun. I didn't want her to go in, but I knew that it was happening, and I was in on it, and, like, I don't know what to say, because, like, I couldn't do much to stop it. I was trying, but no one wanted to do James, and so it was her. And I sent in Danny, not thinking that it would be a big deal, when I was honestly originally pushing Gumby, and I probably should have continued to do that, if I'm honest.
Yo, confessional people, here I am on a drive to a graduation for my girlfriend. Congrats to her. I guess we'll see that in the Sagevivor episode of Sage Pissed the Sin. What the fuck is that? Anyways, it's a new cycle. Let's go ahead and talk about what happened, I suppose. So basically, the last vote didn't go as according to plan, but I think I'm okay with the outcome. A lot of people flipped last second, and that was funny. Instead of James going in with Mia and Mia still being here, there was basically Mason and Gumby didn't want to swap off their targets. So the vote ended up being 4-3 3-2-2. So it was 4 votes on Danny that put Danny in the challenge, 3 votes on Mia, one of which was an extra vote that I put out there that Jordy gave me, God bless. And then the 2 was Jordy and James, instead of it being like for Jordy or for James. And that's completely fine with me, actually. I think that was pretty well done, because it still got me to get Mia. And then Mia went into the duel, and it was a survivor quiz knowledge, and Danny, my goat, it did win. He beat her, so I finally got Mia out of the game. I'm fully well aware that I can go out anytime now, but I'm glad with that, because I finally got Mia out of the way. And now I have a chance to live. A chance. A very slim chance, but there's a chance people kind of forget about me again. Not sure why they would. But anyways, right after, we had my worst nightmare. It was a demerge. And how the demerge worked is that, like, one of us got archived. I mean, well, not archived. What was it called? Evicted. I don't know what you say about it. But anyways, Danny was basically cast out. He was no longer on a tribe for the momentary moment. And then we divided into 2 tribes of 4, which is like, oh my god. I got stuck on a tribe with Gumby, Mason, and James. And I was like, you know what? I'm not feeling too confident in this, because, well, James doesn't like me. So we go into it, and it's like, hey, it's actually going to be a team tribal. Whichever team loses immunity goes to tribal council. The other ones will be safe for now. You know, standard shit. And it was like a battleship, and we lost. So unfortunate, but okay, whatever. It's just luck based half the time anyways. So then we go into the actual vote. Basically, I told people I was going to play my 2 idol shards, because, like, there's 4 people in the tribe, so if I get 1 person on board with me, and then I play 2 idol shards, that cancels out all the votes against me, which means that I have free reign to choose who I want. And basically what I'm doing when I did that is trying to make people believe that I'm not going to play them. And I actually didn't know if I was going to play them or not when I first did it, but the more I thought about it, the more I was like, okay, I can tell these people these things, and then this game is about risks. So I'm going to take the risk and hope to God they didn't actually vote me and call my bluff, and I'm not going to play them, on myself at least. So yeah, people started talking to me. James is all like, buddy, you know, even though he's after me, or was after me, told me that, you know, like, he's down to work together now, and the reason he put me on the block is because I put him on nomination like 3 rounds ago. And I already explained myself as to why I did that to him, so he was like, you know what, we're chill, we're fine. Then he was like, let's go after Gumby, because that's what Mason had told me, and I was like, okay, cool. And I spoke to Mason, and Mason did mention that, so it makes me think that they're going to be voting for Gumby. It's funny because I didn't know if I should trust Mason either way, and I wanted to go to Mason and be like, hey, we should vote James here. But Mason was kind of like, I don't know, I don't think it's that good for my game, and I went to go convince them, and he tells me, he says, like, this morning, oh, fuck it, I'll swap over. It's actually, I want to vote James. I think it actually might be good. Gumby's a good shield. And I'm like, yo, are you absolutely sure with that? Just let me know. And he comes to me, he's like, you know what, let me think about it. Are you sure? And I'm like, yeah, just think about it. And he's like, okay, I'm going to vote for Gumby now. Like 4 hours later. I do kind of trust Mason in the regard that he's not going to be putting my name out there. And I do kind of trust Gumby when Gumby told me that they want to go after Mason, especially since I already told Gumby that his name was being a target. And no one's really brought up my name, so it's either they're all 3 together and they're actually, like, blindsiding me fully, or, like, at least 2 of them believes that I'm using my idol shards and they think that there's no reason to go after me. And in that world, I'm completely fine, because, like, no one's going to vote my name anyways, so I'm probably not going to play them. So yeah, basically the vote's going to be between Gumby and Mason, I think that's who Gumby wants now. And I either vote with Gumby and I use an idol shard on him, making it a 2-to-1, and then we get what we want, and I blindside Mason. Gumby thinks it'll be his move. When I play the idol shard, it won't be anymore, which is the interesting about it. I have that, and then I have, like, the option to just vote against Gumby with Mason and all of them. But basically, I think I'm in the driver's seat this vote. Again, like last vote, I didn't get it completely correct, but I still had power and was still in the driver's seat and got people to vote with me to get me on the block. And I also knew about all the other plans. Like, people don't realize that I know about, like, literally every plan that's not supposed to involve me. So I have a lot of information, a lot of, like, ideas and, like, thoughts about what I can do, and we're just gonna rock with it, you know? But anyways, yeah, that's about it. I'll see you guys later. Oh my god, 5 minutes 30 seconds. Anyways, bye.
Okay, so we did the battleship challenge or whatever. The only battleship I know is from the iPhone games, and I tend to do pretty okay at those, even though I haven't played in a long ass time. So I was just kind of like, okay, yay, but at the same time, I'm like, what's the strat here? Because you're playing against a bunch of messy people that are fucking nerds. So, we'll just have to see how that happens. So, Jordy basically came up with like the whole placement of them. I mean, we weren't really like in a formal discussion about it. He was just like there, and he was just like, "Is this good?" And then we were just like, "Cool." And then he became the spokesperson. So then it started, and like I was there as well to like help with the guesses maybe, and a couple of them hit, and I was just like, slay, because we did that. And then we kind of ended up winning because the movement became like a bit predictable from what Mason was doing. And yeah, so it's been nice to not have to worry about this game, but at the same time, I'm a little worried because Gumby is on the other side, and so is Wrath, so is what's his face, James. Who else? I'm forgetting people's names. Still, at this point of the game, I'm still fucking forgetting people's names. So, wait, so Gumby, Wrath, James. Oh, Mason. Anyways, so I'm a little just worried about what's gonna happen there. If Gumby goes, I'm just gonna be like, no, fuck this. I'm not doing it. And then I'll just do anything to get me the votes because what the fuck? But yeah, that's how I'm feeling right now. And I'm pretty sure Danny being on exile is not a good thing because I'm sure he's gonna find some sort of advantage while he's on exile. So we'll just have to see how that goes. Also, I don't think we may be enemies because everyone literally voted him. And then I even tried to tell him like, yo, I didn't vote you. I thought it was all on Mia until like literally on the dot of like 10 o'clock. And then he's like, it's okay, I'm back. And then shortly after that, we were separated on our tribes. So we'll see.
Alright guys, this is my episode 11 confessional. A lot happened for me game wise, so I'm just gonna get right to it. This round was a demerge, so we got put on 2 tribes of 4, and I'm pretty sure Danny was the one who got put into exile. So I got put in a tribe with Wrath, obviously myself, Mason, and Gumby. My original thoughts of this tribe is just like I didn't like it too much. Like I trust Mason to a good degree, but besides that, I don't trust Wrath. I tried taking him out once, and it completely backfired on me. Like got back to him straight away. So that was just like, you know, if I was gonna get demerged with anybody, I don't want to get demerged with him, especially because I know he probably either wants me out or doesn't want to work with me. So, you know, definitely was not looking forward to seeing him on my tribe. And then also Gumby, which I mean, like, I've had a good relationship with. Like, I feel like we have pretty good conversations. But at the same time, though, like, just based off of when I was voted off, like, we still don't ever trust each other, like, fully. I don't think we ever will trust each other fully. So, just based off of that, I mean, I really just did not like this swap. So I was just really praying we could win immunity and not have to worry about going to tribal. The challenge was not something that was like I could really do much about. It was basically a luck challenge of, I'm trying to think what you'd call that. I haven't played this game much, but you try to like sink each other's ships. Our representative was Mason, while they had Jordy. and they're just trying to take each other's ships back and forth. Basically a game of luck. We lost, which sucks because I really did not want to go to tribal. If I was gonna have anyone on my tribe and want to go to tribal with, I would want to have like Jordy on my tribe or even like Vintage. Yeah, we go to tribal and I'm instantly, I think I'm screwed because like I trust Mason, but I don't know how close he is compared. Like I don't know how my relationship with him compares to his relationship with Gumby or Wrath. So the entire time I'm kind of panicked almost. Like, does he really want to work with me? You know, does he have my best? Is he gonna try to save me here? Really? So I basically just come to him pitching like what I thought was the best move. I had an extra vote and a demerge tribal. Like this is really useful. Like an extra vote could be so massive for me here. So my whole goal is just like try to convince him to either take out Gumby or Wrath, and we can make a move together, and that saves my ass. I pitch it to Mason. Wanted to get off work. And it's like he gets back to me the next morning and he's like, I don't know if we'll even need it. I'm like, oh really? That's sweet. Like he's but he really, I started pitching Wrath just because I know I wanted Wrath out last time. I figured he's a big threat in this game. It's good to go after him again. But Mason didn't want Wrath out. He would rather have Gumby out instead, which I mean I'm totally open to. But the thing that sketches me out the most was like the fact that you know, Wrath also wanted Gumby out too. I like really thought Wrath wanted me out or like something along those lines. I didn't think he'd go against Gumby ever. I kind of picture them as not like a duo, but like people that were like pretty close in this game or just allies. So hearing that was kind of weird, but I was like, you know, if Mason thinks this is the best move, I'll go with it. And then basically today I had work, so again I'm like talking to people. I'm talking to Wrath, I'm talking to Mason. They're both saying Gumby to me. I'm cool with it, but I'm trying to talk to Gumby and he's moving, you know, he's moving stuff, so I couldn't really get a full conversation with him game-wise. I didn't really know where his head was at. He didn't tell me about. And I go to work, so I'm like, okay, maybe he just has like other plans, just voting me out. And it gets to like the last hour, and I'm still working, and I text him. I'm like, okay, let's try to at least see, like, he hasn't thrown a name out to me now. I'm just gonna see where his head's at. So I'm like, yeah, let's make a move together. Like, let's do something. And he's like, no, it's too late. And he still doesn't give me a name. So at this point, I'm just convinced he's voting for me. Like, it's obvious, completely obvious to me. And so I'm at that point. I'm like, shit, what should I really do this travel? Because I really didn't feel like I was in a good spot regardless. I felt like there was still a possibility I was getting lied to. People are gonna vote me out. So I thought to myself, like, there's two possible scenarios really. Scenario number one, Mason and Wrath are telling me the truth, and they're gonna vote with me and vote Gumby out, and it'd be like 3-1 vote. Second option is they're all voting me, and it's me another like 3-1 vote, and I'm voting Gumby. So I figured also, you know, if I'm going out, I don't want to go out with my extra vote. I want to at least, you know, use it. So I figured if I stick 2 votes on Wrath, then if I'm being lied to and I'm voted out, I'm out 3-2 either way. I'm gone. But if people are being honest with me and they are voting for Gumby, it'd be 2-2-1. 2 votes for Wrath, 2 votes for Gumby. Oh no, two votes Wrath, 2 votes Gumby, and then 1 vote me. Which is I had in mind. I mean, on top of this, another element of this is that Wrath has allegedly had 2 idol shards his entire game, and he's saying he's going to use it this tribal. Me personally, I didn't really believe it. I kind of thought it was just a bluff first time around, and I was like, I didn't really think he was going to do it the second time, so I was like, you know what, I'm going to stick 2 votes on Wrath and just see what happens. And basically the result was that Wrath did actually have 2 idol shards. Played one on himself, played one on Gumby, and once I saw that happen, I was like, I'm definitely screwed. Turns out one of my votes gets negated, and then also Mason's vote for Gumby gets negated, and then they both vote for Mason, which I completely did not expect. I thought if anyone was safe that trial, it'd be Mason. Completely wrong, man. They voted him out 2-1-0. And I just got completely blindsided there. Tried to take another shot at Wrath, I guess just did not work, so I say it is what it is, but as my game plan, I was trying to do what I thought was best for me at the moment, just because at the same time I don't know who I can really trust at the moment. I don't fully trust any of them, and I just did honestly what I thought was best, and it didn't work out. Nothing else I can say. I mean, at least I'm still here though, which is all that matters. But yeah. Anyways, that's kind of my thought process throughout this entire round. But I'll see you guys.
And just like that, Mason, our last winner, was taken out by an epic move from Wrath in the small tribe of 4, playing both of his idol pieces on himself and Gumby to kind of negate whatever James and Mason wanted to do to try to save themselves. So RIP Mason. Shout out to Mason. I know Mason was kind of going through a lot of life stuff, like real life stuff around this time when he was getting voted out. So shout out to him. You're always super fun. And it was really cool seeing you go as far as you did. I didn't think the winners were going to stand a chance in this season, to be honest with you, and you defied the odds. So good job. Anyways, in the next episode, we will be jumping into the final 8, where we will see what twists and turns really end up as we're entering the end game here. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you then. Bye.